This is Candace 2. BreyerFest is in about 3 weeks from now, and I can't stop thinking about potential variation. I've compiled a list of all the 2022 models for this year's special runs, and a few ideas for variations I think that we might see. One quick note. I don't currently work for Breyer, and I'm not in contact with anyone that does. These are just fun speculations when I got to thinking about what neat variations we might see based on variations that have been issued in the past. If you're new to SRs, special runs are models available exclusively during that year's BreyerFest and no other time. In past fests, Breyer has issued surprise variations within the offered runs, which means what you see isn't always what you get. But that can be a good thing. If you happen to get a micro run variation, you've now got a very limited prized collectible. And if you decide to sell, it could be worth potentially thousands of dollars. Not everyone sells, of course. Some people keep them in their collections forever as a grail piece. As a quick recap, here are the BreyerFest special runs for 2022. Landler, Elbe and Spree, Stein, the Rotating Draft Surprise, Breyer Bears, Marzipan, Franz, Brahms, and Rapunzel. There are 9 SRs this year, including the surprise, and a decorator, a non-equine option that gives you 3 models, and a mare and foal set. First, I want to go through the models that I don't think will have a variation and why. Breyer Bears. I think these little guys are what they are. Clearware, colorful just like Haribo gummies, and scented. I think Breyer is going to leave them as is. It could be cool to open your gummy bear box and get a set in vintage colors, like how gummy bears looked when they first were made. Franz. Franz is based off the blue horse painting by German artist Franz Marc, so I think they'll leave him as is too. He wouldn't be based on the painting if he were changed. Side note, I love that this model is art within art within art. He was sculpted by an artist, based on the animation style of an artist, and colored by an artist to represent a painting by another artist. Now for potential variations within the runs. Let's go backward for just a minute to look at past variations to get an idea of what we might see, starting with 2021 Horse of a Different Color. This year had a surprise variation for every single special run. Breyer pulled a fast one though and revealed the accurate quantity of each of some of the models, and later revealed there were additional models for a few of those variations. So, while we see the quantities for this year, it might not be a clue as to how big of a run of variation could be if there is one. Like Stein, for example. It might be easy to say there will be a small variation run of 300 pieces, just take that 300 off the back of 2,000, but it might not be so simple. So we know Uffington had 200 additional variation models added to the run. Pesch was a 50-50 color split. Gran had a color shift deco run of 200 pieces added. Surat was the 50-50 matte glossy split. Knossos had an additional 200 gold decos added. Tassili, shown as a Marwari, arrived 1,000 times as a barb variation in a 50-50 main tail split. Pollock, the decorator, was revealed at 1,600 pieces, but 200 of those were actually a reversed gold variation. The final SR, Ansel, had an additional 200 pieces of a metallic decorator added to his run of 2,000 blue roan overos. This is a lot of well-planned variants, and it was done to tie into the theme. I don't think we'll see this many SRs with variants for a while, and I'll show you why. If we look back at 2020, only 2 of the 8 SRs outside of the surprise had variations. Epona, revealed with a braided mane and tail, came in a 50-50 mane tail split with a loose mane tail variation. A Thorn, revealed in matte, had a 50-50 matte glossy split. 2019 was the 30th anniversary of BreyerFest, so each of the 8 SRs had a special 30-piece micro-run pearl variation themed to the traditional 30-year pearl anniversary gift. Banner was that year's decorator, Bucky was the non-equine model, Pepper came in a gray Sabino, Rocket came in a buckskin Pinto, Natasha had 30 flaxen liver chestnut Pintos hidden among all the bright bays. Quill was the 50-50 matte glossy split with a special amber champagne run. Diana was the main tail 50-50 split variation with a very special splash run of 30 pieces. And the surprise had 30 leopard Appaloosas in the mix. In 2018, there were 2 SR variations besides the surprise. Sierra Rose came in a matte glossy 50-50 split, and Dead Heat came in a color variation of half Palomino and half Chestnut. 2017 had a matte glossy split of Indu, but I think he was the only variation. Namid had a matte glossy split in 2016. There seemed to be no variations at all in 2015 outside of the surprise horse. But in 2014, there were micro runs of 25 silver charms in each of the 8 special run offerings to celebrate BreyerFest's 25th silver anniversary. Celebration, Kodiak and Denali, Gossamer, Funfet, Platinum Star, Jubilee, Champagne Toast, and the Surprise. I don't think Breyer will do that many variations again for a while. It'd have to be a particular theme that calls for it, or a Breyer birthday or a fest anniversary. We might see this in 2024 if Breyer carries their traditional milestone anniversary gift theme into the runs like they did in 2014 and 2019. Which, yes please, Breyer. Okay, back to this year's special runs that I think might have a variation. For this year, I don't think all the SRs I have speculations for will have variations. We may only see 1 or 2. First, the rotating draft surprise. There will obviously be variations in this run, but we won't know anything about that until everyone opens them. There could be 4 colors in a matte glossy split, or 4 colors with a micro run, or 3 realistic colors with 1 decorator, or a combination of matte, glossy, micro, and decorator. I'm trying to get a speculation video done in time for this year's surprise, so watch for that. I agree with what Stormy Strike said in her 2022 speculation video. We'll probably see a solid color, a Pinto, an Appaloosa, and a decorator. No matter what, I'm really excited to see what this year's surprise will be and all of the variations it will include. Landler. I love this rose gray guy. They did show him in matte, which means they could introduce a glossy, so perhaps a matte glossy split. I could also see them issuing him in a small run charm color. Maybe instead of rose gray, he's rose gold, like they used on Avoriaz. But this mold was used as a metallic Palomino for the 2017 holiday horse, and as a glossy champagne 2018 CC web special, which might both be too close for a charm variation. They could liven him up like the dance he was named after, and do a loud Sabino. This mold does not have a main tail variation, so unless Breyer adds one, Landler could very well just be Landler. Elb and Spree. These cuties were also revealed in matte, so the glossy split could apply here too. It'd also be fun to get a micro run of blue metallic decorators as a nod to water, similar to Ansel last year, seeing as these two are named after rivers. But we've got a blue decorator this year. Maybe Elb and Spree would be nice in a blue Rhone to represent water. Stein. Stein seems to be a crowd favorite, and I would not be surprised at all if he was the matte glossy split for this year. I thought it might be neat to have Stein in a draft color as a nod to his namesake, but that's too close to Fireheart, the original mold release. The German theme for 2022 has me wishing for more dark pieces, with vibes of the North Sea, Black Forest, the Wild Hunt, and folklore. That got me thinking Stein would be amazing in a dark, storm cloud gray. Marzipan. I get the feeling that Marzipan is the SR underdog this year. I also get the feeling that Breyer won't do a matte glossy split with Mars, and this mold so far does not have a mane or tail variation. It could be fun if Breyer put a really unique variation in this run. I was thinking a beautiful cremello. He's named Marzipan, which is a confection made of blanched ground almonds, honey, and sugar, so it's ivory in color. I'd love a micro run in a traditional marzipan color, or even a color split. Brahms. Brahms was designed with German composer Johannes Brahms in mind, and his amazing Appaloosa coat resembles sheet music. He's already glossy, so I don't think we'll see a change in finish. Brahms might just be one of the SRs that's left alone, but it also might be neat to have a small run minimal spots variation, or even a gold version. Rapunzel. Rapunzel was also revealed in matte, so we could see a finish split with some glossies. Her strawberry color is so sweet, especially considering she's a pony and based on a maiden in a fairy tale, so I almost hope she doesn't get a color variation. In the fairy tale, Rapunzel has long golden hair, so it might be fun to see her in a gold charm as sort of a reversal of the fairy tale version of long golden hair. Out of all the SR models, Rapunzel is the only one I know of that has an alternate mane for a potential mane-tail split. A cut mane almost wouldn't make much sense for Rapunzel, unless you get a Rapunzel whose hair was cut by the sorceress. If that were the case, I feel the variation would need to be a very special micro run and a totally different color, like a glossy, dark woods, deep bay, since Rapunzel is banished to the forest. Maybe in a quantity of just 25 pieces or 33, since I think it's the 33rd year of BreyerFest. Even if all the models come complete with their braid, we now know this mold could be used as a mane tail variation in the future. And that's it for my variation speculation. I'd love to know in the comments if you've considered any specific variations for this year, and if you're hoping for one in particular. I didn't turn on any of the lights. Should I turn on the light? I don't know. I can't do it without the cue card. Okay, try that again. Gosh, okay. Nope. That was so close to being good. I threw myself off with a hand gesture. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to do with my hands. Just read the cue card. The end. That wasn't too bad, right?